is our brand new ghost. He has chain coming up so that he looks like he's pulling against the chain.
Right.
And escaping, perhaps, from the grave.
That's right. It really creates that floating kind of effect.
So the body is latex, foam-filled latex, and has a metal armature in it. The legs, the arms are bendable. The ghost comes complete with the character, the flame bulb, the metal and chain, and then a motor so that he swivels. And if you want to, you can put tombstones or other stuff you have around him to kind of create a complete scene. So imagine this guy in your graveyard or your home haunt.
Ooh.
Tom did the head, sculpted the head. Jordu primarily did the body. And he went through a lot of development. This ghost went through a lot of development in Mike's area.
There was lots of head scratching trying to figure out how to make this thing work. After we finish painting him, we add ultraviolet invisible ink. So he kind of has this blue glow to him, ghostly glow. Yeah, and what's cool is since he's painted with both UV and regular paint, when regular white light hits him, he looks ghostly, but then when it goes dark and just the UV light hits him, he looks ghostly. So it's kind of like two different contrasting effects when lightning strikes or whatever that works well both ways. And it just adds a little bit of excitement, and fairly inexpensively, because it's just ultraviolet light, strobe lights, fog adds a lot to him. Classic characters, really, really great. Really like a definitive, this is the star of the movie kind of creature, so that, if a ghost fits into your scene, this is the one. So this is the upper body, the legs, lower body, the head. This is the stand itself. Now it's bigger than normal because, of leverage and you don't want this thing tipping over. We've got 2 stabilizer bars. He comes with a neck cuff, wrist cuffs, and then we give you 2 links of this plastic chain that looks very real. This is what the chain goes onto, which is 2 metal bars that are, I'll show you how those go on, that create the illusion of him floating. This is the transformer to power the motor. This is the flame bulb. This is a bag of 6-inch Velcro strips, and that is what ties that chain on. We'll go over that. And this is the socket for the light. So, oh, and also there's some Velcro that attaches the head and the light in. So you get this all laid out, and I would start by connecting the upper body to the lower body. You just slide the legs on. There's a square tubing that this other piece of square tubing fits into. Flip them over, and you place the bolt in here. You just tighten that down, and now you've connected the top to the bottom. So you'll want to get the light holder. There's an area where this just slides in like that, and that holds it. Then you get your bulb, screw that in, and then use the Velcro to hold that in place. Now once that's locked, and this just comes out the neck. So you get the head, and you'll notice there's a piece of Velcro. Just kidding. That Velcro goes right here, and that's the first step. You just slide it down over the light and make sure that's secure. Now this back part is a little bit of a trick, but you'll want to get the hair out of the way. And squish this down so that it's, you know, very close to the neck, and then stick that Velcro in there. And then the hair goes over that. And we'll just leave him set for the time being. Now, this stuff, you know, you can put it on now or later, but I think we'll put it on now. So this arm comes down and he's kind of like reaching. So the arms and legs have special armatures in them that will bend at the shoulders, elbows, hips, and knees and allow you to get the position you want. And these just slide apart, and then you just hook them on and put them back together. And you got a cuff for each hand. And these come with, they're connected all three together, but you can leave the links that you want. I kind of like one a little shorter on the arm than the other, and then leave a fair amount on his neck. And that goes around, and this connects right like that. It's pretty simple. For the look, it's just great. And so the first piece that goes on is this. Now, this is important. There's Velcro back here, and the Velcro goes back toward the deep part. And then there's Velcro on here, and it goes in the back, and this slides into this. And that is very strong support. We've got two giant bearings in there that hold it, so the motor doesn't have to do the work. The bearings hold everything up. And
so it's like a S-curve or something.
yeah, it's an S-curve. The thing that's important is to keep this Velcro toward the back on both of them, and it goes right away from the front of this. It swings in and then around like that and creates that, you know, free-floating S-curve look. So the stabilizer bars are very important. So you just put them in here and pretty much equally put them on either side of the frame. And this, you know, if you wanted to, you could tape them in place. And another thing that's not a bad idea is to sandbag it. It's fine the way it is. If it's indoors, it should be fine. But if there was big wind or something, you might want to just give it a little more oomph. You could stake it to the ground. But that is the foundation to hold the Ghost. Again, the Velcro's back here. It's going to hold your chain. And this swings in toward the center of gravity. And of course, he'll hook up here, which puts him kind of over this, the centering him right over this thing so that he's very stable and so he can move back and forth. So at this point, you've got him together. And you can, if you want to start doing some adjustment, you can always do more once you get him up there. But you can bend the knees and spread the legs apart, whatever you think he needs. And again, if you have help, it's nice. But this comes down and goes into, there's a square metal receiver, and you just find it and slide it on. And then this can go back up. and you can mess with his arms, his legs, till he gets that kind of, the idea is to make him look like he's weightless, you know, he's floating. So you may have to get on a ladder to fix his hair and things, but the next step is putting on this chain. Now the chain is clever because every link can be opened up or closed. So you just, there's a gap here and you just spin it and you can extend or shorten however you need to. Velcro pieces. And in addition to the chain, you've got to bind the electric cord and the lap cord into the chain to hide it. So I like to start right up at the top. You can put the cord in and then open it up to get it on this rubber belt hook. And then I go every other link. So make sure you're getting the cord in there. So you come all the way to the far edge of the Velcro. Make sure your lamp cord and your chain are together, and then you wrap it around and go low. You start here and you wrap it and go down as you go around, and that makes the best use of the Velcro, and it also super holds on to that chain link. As you go down, you skip every other link. As you do these, you want him to wrap on these two sides of the metal as he faces you. So this one's up here, and you cinch it up and kind of pull it taut. And you skip this link, or this link, and then you go to this one. Make sure your cord is under it. You put it, it's going all the way to this edge of the Velcro. So it's got a good grab. You wrap it around, and then you go down a little, because you can't wrap it straight because the Velcro from the first time. And you repeat that all the way down. It'll take a few minutes, but it's really creates the illusion well. Once you get the hang of it, it's not really bad. See, I'm starting here, and then I come around, and as I wrap, I go low. So I've got Velcro here and here, and since I'm skipping every other link, then I'm still fine for the next one. There's plenty of unused Velcro. And again, just do yourself a favor, check your work every so often, make sure that you've not missed your cord, because hiding that cord is all part of the illusion. Now you're going to come to a point here real quick where the cord ends and it's not even to that center point, and that's where we're going to get our extension cord. So we provide this cord. It's extra long, and it's only true prong, which is great because it helps hide it. And you just plug that in on your journey down, and it's really kind of disappears. So you go back to the routine. This one's a little weird because of the plug. So now I'm just going to continue down to the bottom, and again, just keep that same pattern. And we'll be done in no time. So after the chain's all on, you might want to just make sure everything looks right. Your chains are hanging down, your cloth is hanging down, and he may need a little hairdo. You know, just get it out of his face. And really, if there's any final bending of the knees or arms. So the last step before you plug it all in is to plug the transformer into the motor. And this is in the kit. And then you'll take your effects light and plug that in with it. So that's it. He is now together, the chain's on, you run the light, plug that in. So now you just plug in the motor that gets him moving. You just have to be careful not to use cloth or things that could get wrapped up in the motor there and stall it. Yeah, you just don't want to get stuff caught in here. You want to make sure that it's the motor can move freely. And then you plug in the eyes, and that lights up the flame bulb. Now if you run the cord down the side of him, that'll place that switch right around here, so you can switch it to either a flame effect or do a slow dim in and out like that, or you can just put them on solid. Just whatever effect you want. Fog, lights, put them in a cemetery, chain him to a concrete pylon, anything you want, and he is good to go. If you go to Frightronics.com, you can download the sound for this guy, so you can add that to the effect.